I'm just going to try to make this one quick, but somebody asked me today if I have Netflix or if I have this or if I have that. And I said, it's a modern day. Somebody around me has a Netflix thing that I can use. I mean, I myself don't have anything. I don't watch anything. If somebody wants to watch something, then that's the only time that I ever will. And it depends on what it is. And when people don't think enough, I want to make a simple point. Like, unless it's my imagination, there's really nothing fascinating about sitting and watching someone's made-up story when there's a world out there that is nature, that is alive, that has activity happening. That's actual physical activity that you involve yourself with and you move around and that kind of thing. Anything besides sitting and watching a story. And on top of it, there's a part of me in the back of my mind that knows, yeah, it takes effort to go through a school, to learn how to act, or to get into the, around the people who do these businesses or have these opportunities for people to star in movies. But that's not hard, quote unquote, hard work. It's difficult to do sometimes unless you're, lucky and you know people or something like that. But at the same time, everyone is acting. Everyone is living some kind of way, under some kind of dialogue that they don't really even understand, that their script isn't written, but the words that we use to speak and talk about things are the only way we distinguish them to each other from something in nature. And we've turned nature into a bunch of words and categories and smut catchphrases, and now little slabs that we look at or TVs that we stare at, and we don't do anything with nature itself that we took this from. Of course, on top of it all, there's these people where, unless it's my imagination again, there are starving people dying, places being wrecked and hurt and, torn up. And at the same time, some of these people who are rich, that have these corporations, that are stars and celebrities, that are singers, that are very rich and known and famous. Not all of them live great, but some of them have such large amounts of money. They do stuff like, have $7 million or $20 billion house and, $6,000 rolls of toilet paper or gold-lined toilet paper while there's dying people starving. Unless it's my imagination, there's something wrong with people not saying that needs to stop. And anyone who does it is a fucking criminal just for taunting with their stupidity. It's not something to idolize. It's not something to want to be. If you have something deep down in you that makes you want to own your own island, be away from yourself, it's usually because there was people at one point in time that were struggling so hard because they had never experienced any kind of luxury, any kind of extravagance, any kind of convenience in life. And so many people who have it, who complain like little sniveling babies, are very annoying, and they just want to be left alone. Or the violence and the overacted animosity and aggression towards each other gets overwhelming, and you just want to get away. Now, there's a balance that we need to find here. And the way that we do it is we become involved with nature. We become more involved with eating peaceful foods, things that don't require violence. And we become part of the world so that we can take care of her, not tear her apart. It's that simple. We've got to turn off the TVs, stop having all these big corporations sending billions and billions of packages every day all over the place to supply other people, to supply other people, to supply other people with junk. And keep spitting out data and information to follow and studies to research. No. We've got to be part of the world we're in. We don't have to be documented. We need to let that shit go. That's what the big revolution is. It's the evolution and letting go of all the record keeping. Living. Loving your fellow and your female friends, neighbors, brothers and sisters. We are one. We're one living this inside. Each of us has an awareness point. And if you aren't aware, then maybe you shouldn't be here. If you don't feel, or if you're not aware, then fine. Then you can go do some crazy things and, get yourself messed up. But don't be hurting anybody else. There's no reason for it, and there's no reason to tolerate it. So that's all I'm going to say. I went off the subject a little bit, but hey, whatever.